The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
So welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. My name is Andre Quintana, and we are back again on the podcast that helps collect more, produce more, and motivate your staff more. And today we have an exciting guest, and her name is Kim. How are you today, Kim?
I'm great. How are you, Andre?
I am doing so great, but I know we have a lot to do today. We're going to be on for a little while to get to know each other better. The eAssist audience is going to get to know you really, really well. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Kim Scharfenberg, and I've been in the dental field for over 30 years. I've worked in the front and I've worked in the back as a back office manager and a front office manager. I was very blessed to find eAssist. I work with lots of awesome people. I wish, like all of us, that eAssist was around when I was an office manager in order to get the things done and keep up the pace that you need to keep up in a dental office. I'd go in early and I'd stay late, sometimes 5 a.m. and sometimes 9 or 10 I'd get home. And this would allow me to spend quality times with my patients during the day, but it was kind of taxing on my family. My mom, she passed away in 2008, and after that, things got really tough. I ended up ill for many years. I had to quit my job because I couldn't handle it anymore, and I fell into a deep depression. My husband had to take care of me.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad you're talking about that, because I was going to bring up the fact that a very low percentage of people in our country, it might be even around the world, are very, very unhappy with the work that they do. They have to go to work every day, but they're really not happy with what they do. I'm getting excited because I'm guessing that you're about to really tell us what you really enjoy about eAssist, correct? Is that?
Yes,
that's great.
yes.
Okay, I won't stop you anymore. Go ahead. I'm enjoying the story so far.
My husband retired in December, and now it's my turn to take care of him. I am working with eAssist. I have been working with eAssist since 2013, and it is the best job. My proficiency is in I'm an office manager for a few offices, and I do the aging. And I really enjoy doing the aging. I like taking an aging report, looking at it, and figuring out why the claims aren't being paid, and calling the insurances and fighting with them and getting them paid. And I love doing that. And I'm able to do a lot of things that I was not able to do working in an office. And that is obviously spending more time with my husband and my family, and doing some of the things that we love. eAssist has just been a blessing, and it's the stress that I was under so many times with working in an office is almost nil. And, we work, we can make our own hours, we work when we can work, and we can play when we want to play. And it's just an awesome place to work.
Let's go ahead and tell our audience out there that in order for you to join eAssist to do these wonderful things that we're going to talk about today, you really have to put in the time in a dental office that shows you the pros and cons of both, of getting to where you are. Like, we do need staff in a dental office. We need those dental teams that make everything happen, which is the reason why we have this podcast today, is to identify what eAssist is doing to really make those offices better. And the reason I say that is because, Kim, you worked for a long time doing everything. Like, I do everything. I did it, in my industry and the dental industry. And I felt like I could really do anything in an office. So I'm really proud of some of the things I've done. But the beauty about it is that you can come in and get that for other people to perform better, so they don't have to struggle like you may have struggled in the past. Would that be right?
Yes, definitely. One of the things that really was hard is, the time factor. You want to spend time with your patients, and you can't as much as you'd like to unless you put the extra hours in, like I was telling you that I did. Otherwise, if you don't put that extra time in, things get behind. And I would even, when I was working as an office manager, if something happened in the back, because of my back office skills, I would end up working in the back assisting as well. So having eAssist would have been very beneficial, not having to worry about the money coming in and the insurance and that side of it. It just would have taken a huge, huge burden off of me. And I know it takes the burden off of the offices that we work now. And they can spend the quality time that they want to with their patients, with the treatment planning and finances and all of those things that they need to have the extra time for.
And think about your life, looking back, you would have been a lot less stress during those years where you still were going to be great. You still were going to learn a lot and do a lot for your doctor, but it would have been a lot more of a smoother process. And that's what I see about what we create for other offices nowadays where they don't have to struggle. And one other thing about eAssist that I want to bring up, that there's no setup fee required. They do everything so simple where there's no long-term contracts. The services, the services really work. The patients will know more also about what's due at the time of the appointments. The collection rates are actually more accurate. And of course, the number one thing for the doctor, why the doctors and dental teams work so hard, is that the accounts receivables will also be healthier. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the other thing, we can spend the time worrying about the money coming in, and the office doesn't have to, the doctor doesn't have to. He knows that when he looks at those reports, the money is coming in and that those claims are being worked and those things are being done, so the doctor doesn't have to worry about that. And the staff, like I said, can devote more time to the patient, to the patient's care, and to the way they feel. One of the things that is really important, and I really loved, and I do miss about not being in an office, is when a patient comes in and they're absolutely terrified, and the first words out of their mouth are, "I hate the dentist." Mm-hmm. And when they leave, they've had such a great experience. They've got smiles on their face, and mm-hmm. they're saying, "Oh, that wasn't so bad." And you have to have the time to spend with those patients in order for that to happen. And with eAssist, they can do that. They can have that extra time.
Let me stop you right there, because that's really key. This is so good. This is what's going to make this interview today. In the office, you have to understand all of the work that goes in day in and day out. We're trying to have, we have probably in a one doctor office, I'm not going to call the number because different offices have different styles of how they take patients in and out in their day. But the truth is, you have all these patients on your schedule and you've got to see them all, because if you call a patient and say, "I'm running 30 minutes behind or an hour and a half behind," then you're going to have to reschedule somebody. And those were patients that probably were nervous to come to the office to begin with. If you have to go ahead and reschedule a patient, who knows, it could be a crown. It could be a production case, like 2 crowns, 19 and 20, for example, back to back, which is great for a doctor. They can go in, they can numb only ones and have all the production, and the patient's also happy because they can get all that stuff done in the same day. But I know that when things go wrong, a patient like that can be left out. And the offices that struggle with that are the offices whose teams are overwhelmed, overworked, and they don't focus on the right thing, which is making the patient's day. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, the biggest thing is dentistry. Most people do not like the dentist. They don't like going. And if that happens where they have to be rescheduled or something changes, that patient may never come back.
They have
they have to go through so much to get their foot in that door and getting themselves prepared to go and everything else. And then if you call them or if you let them know in the waiting room, I'm sorry, we're running behind and we can't see you today, you're going to lose that patient. You're not going to have that patient anymore. I can guarantee it, because it took so much for them to put their foot in that door and to come and see the dentist in the first place. And if they're not seen and they're not treated like they matter, then they're not going to come back.
You sound like that perfect employee that I would have hired, Kim. You sound like you were the one employee that would settle into the office and settle into the work and get so deeply involved into the work that you would probably stay there till sun goes down and it's dark outside and you're still crunching numbers to make the day sheets work and all of that.
That's exactly what I used to do.
That's because you are, right?
I would make the practice my own. I would think of it as my own. What would I want done in this office if this was really my office?
Right.
And I did treat all of the offices that I worked in, and I only worked in like 3 or 4 offices, and I only changed because of location. But they were my babies. I took care of them, and they were my offices as far as the doctors were concerned.
So let me stop you there, because now when you do that, it's all one-sided now, okay? The doctor is in heaven. The doctor is in dental heaven, because now you're doing everything that you can to make them profitable and happy, because they just have to worry about dentistry. But guess what? There's one left. There's one person being left out of having an amazing life that they deserve. That's you. So now we fast forward and we get into eAssist, and now eAssist is coming to your life. And Kim, tell everybody out there how that makes you feel.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. Like I said, I can spend more time with my husband. And we actually are on the road right now.
Oh,
we are traveling to Orlando for the summit.
I will be there.
And we are in our motorhome. Yeah, we are in our motorhome, and we are traveling across the United States to the summit. And I work Monday through Friday, and my husband checks out the areas that we're in. Mm-hmm. And then on the weekends, he takes me to the places that he thinks would be cool for us to see. Mm-hmm. So I get all my work done during the week, and I play on the weekends. And right now we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh my gosh, the mountains must be so beautiful over there. I've never been to that side of the country. I just got to get out west.
Neither had I. Yes, neither had I. And that's what we're doing. Is we're just traveling across the United States, getting to the summit.
Yeah, and let me remind eAssist Nation out there and all the audience out there that you have to first go through some of the things that you have gone through, Kim, to become so proficient in your work, right? Because that's what I want to tell the eAssist audience out there, that when you listen to our guests that you're hearing on all the episodes of this podcast that we're so excited as a company about, you are going to listen to people that have been there and done that. Isn't that the truth?
Yes. And like I said, all of us wish that eAssist was there when we were in our infancy and, doing the things that we love. But it would have been nice to have the extra help.
And that's kind of like the nature of life. And, we always want to give our children the better things that we never were able to do, right? We were doing homework and I told my wife, my parents didn't help me as much as you helped the kids. Can you please let them do some things on their own? Because we always want what's best for other people. And that's another thing about eAssist, that they truly, truly want what's best for dental offices. You only have to listen to, once we're up to episode 100, you will find out what I'm talking about. Kim, emphasize some of the challenges that, without getting too detailed, of course, because we protect privacy, we're trained. That's the other thing about eAssist. We have dental professionals that know how the healthcare industry works. They're trained. We have dental assistants, we have dental hygienists, and we have doctors on our team. Tell me about a case where you have helped another practice overcome these challenges that is going to tell someone in the audience that, yes, this is the company that I need to hire for my claims?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is getting money into the office. And that is where we come in is, again, like I said, we work each of those claims to the very end until we can get that money in. And that gives them, again, the time that they need for their patients, and they don't have to worry about the money coming in because they know that somewhere in the background, someone is working on those claims and they're going to get that money.
Wow. And it's all the time. You guys are working. Explain a little bit about, because I have an idea of how it happens, but explain what goes into, like in your team, for example, how many people do you have on your team working for specific groups or small groups of offices, right?
Well, most of my offices, I'm the only one who does the account managing, but there's a couple offices that we have two people, and we split the report up. We will actually print out an outstanding claims report of over 30 claims, over 30 days. And when we get that report, we start from top to bottom and we look at every claim and we see, what happened with that claim. We call to find out where that claim is. A lot of times we call and the money is already on its way. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we call and the claim's not there. So we need to submit that claim.
And let me say this, for example, real quick, like my wife, she's a general dentist and she works, sometimes even 11-hour day. And I'm the one that at times with my son, I have a son with special needs and, we take him to tutoring after school, and my daughter may have like swimming practice, for example. There have been times in the past that I have told Jane that she really needs to handle everything with both kids, because before we had eAssist, I had to go in there and figure out what may be going wrong with certain claims. And that was affecting our quality of life. What you mean to tell me is that you guys are constantly working on things so that the doctor and their team don't really have to worry about it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And the biggest thing, like I said, is we look at the claims, we see why they're not being paid, and we get them paid. But the real point here is that we work all over the United States. So we're all in different time zones. So when we're working on Eastern claims and we're in the, on the Pacific Coast, we can get up early in the morning and get a lot done because we're working on East Coast claims that they're already up and they're already doing their thing. We can work a little bit later in the evening on some of the Pacific Coast claims. It depends on the timing and stuff, whatever we're doing at that time. But there's all different, different times we can work on the claims. Weekends are a little bit hard because sometimes the insurances aren't open, but we can use online resources for that if we need to work on the weekends. But we do whatever it takes to get that money in a timely manner.
Oh, this is great stuff, Kim. And I know we have a couple more things that we need to hear about, but for someone joining us right now, halfway through the show, can you let them know how best to reach eAssist?
Well, the website to see exactly what eAssist does is dentalbilling.com, and there is an awesome little video in there that really shows a lot, and it's a very good video, and I definitely recommend that you watch it. We do have a toll-free number, which is 844-eAssist or 844-327-7478. But those are the best ways to learn about eAssist, and it's really awesome.
Oh, they have a website, for example, that shows you just so much of what they do. But one of the things that popped in my head is, like, for example, when I have an important member of my team call out sick, for example, and I'm already just so involved in so many things that the doctor wants me to do for her, and all of a sudden I was relying on somebody else that calls out sick. It could be even a hygienist. Production will go down when you have a hygienist out sick. the beauty about eAssist is that they don't stop working for you. So sometimes when you might have a bad day in production, you've got a team behind you that's helping you with collections. Isn't that the case?
Yes. Yes. We are always working. And like I said, when we have the separate people in the office, we split up the report, and whatever part is your part, you work that until it can't be worked anymore. And we work really, really well together as teams. And everybody makes sure that that money is coming into the office in a timely fashion.
Yeah. And we're not talking just about, only money, even though that's so important for a dental practice to stay healthy in the financials, because it might be a dental office that's trying to expand, for example, and get into a bigger space and add more doctors. Okay, you got to look healthy for your banks to offer you financing. I'm talking about even other things to help the offers flow with the task that you distribute to other team members. Wouldn't that be also really true when it comes to how the office may flow, not just the accounts receivables, but the distribution
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, because we also do all of the posting of the payments, and we send the claims in the first place. And as far as the billing goes and everything else, that is also our responsibility, and we take care of all those things too. And again, trying to free up all the time. They need you to have that time to spend with the patient.
Well, I just want to point out that I was talking to Jennifer, our Jennifer in our office, right? That on Mondays, for example, we would get this blast of checks. We get the Saturday checks and the Mondays, and we would have to post that all so that we can get it in the same day. And Jennifer would probably spend 2 or 3 hours getting all those checks posted. And now Jennifer has actually been wanting to go and learn the back a little bit more and become more helpful in the clinical area, right? Well, before, when she was so busy doing that, she couldn't get back there to learn new things. Isn't that?
That's awesome.
It's
really
amazing
awesome.
because you can cross-train your team to be the best team that you can have. So what do you think about that? Because I know you've done it all in a dental office.
Oh, yeah. No, that is really, really awesome, because that is exactly some of the things that I've done when I've been an office manager. Because of my background in the back office, if something would happen in the back office, I would go back there and I would assist the doctor. And sometimes he'd want me to stay back there. But so that is awesome. And I would try to cross-train my girls too, but it was hard because of the time that it took to get all the other things done. And they didn't have that, they didn't have that luxury. And I'm really glad to hear that, Andre. That makes me actually pretty happy because learning new trades and learning new parts of dentistry, I've always loved that. And having that to be able to share that with someone else, I think that's pretty cool.
And all it takes, honestly, is this sheet that eAssist provides for you that you can fill out and put all the checks, all the payments. And it literally took 20 minutes for Jennifer. Not even that. It could have been done faster, because all she had to do was list the checks and put them together, and there we have it. She's all done. There's nothing else to do. eAssist handled the rest. And so what would have taken 3 or 4 hours, honestly, took about 20 minutes, and Jennifer is now being such a larger part of the team. The doctor is happier. She sees her growing, and life is great. We have one more. Yeah, isn't that great? We have one more question. So we started the show, Kim, by talking about all the things that eAssist has done to change your life, right? But given everything we've talked about, how do you feel, if we sum it up, how eAssist has made or is making more of a positive impact on the life of other people and the dental teams, to be more exact?
Well, just like what you said just now, I mean, I think the biggest thing that we can give these offices is time, more time to learn new trade, new parts of dentistry, new trade, new everything. more time to spend with the patients and give them a positive experience when they come into the office. Those are the things that a lot of offices lack because they have to spend so much time with insurance, calling insurance, trying to get the verifications. We also do those. On some of the offices, we do the verifications. So the patient comes in, they know what they're going to owe. They know what their insurance covers. And because we handle that, the time is made for the office to do the things that they really should be concentrating on.
That is just perfect. That just makes for a perfect environment. And what we wanted to really emphasize today is that when you have all these parts working the way eAssist has designed it for you, then the overall experience, because don't forget why we're here, honestly. We have these doctors that went through a lot to become dentists, and they wanted to really help people. They wanted to help themselves. Then you're working because you want to have a great career and you want to help yourself and your family. And then we have the final piece of it all. We have the patient that comes to our office, and who wants to be mean to a patient? Who wants to not, make a patient's best day when they come to our office? I've never taken a job because I want to have a miserable time at a job. I've never done. But you know what? Things just happen when frustration sets in and overwhelm and all these things. Then it changes people. And to be honest with you, Kim, we don't even know we're changing. Because a lot of times I look at something that sometimes when I'm dealing with one of our employees and they're not doing something great, right? And I'm looking at them at the end of our conversation, and I know deep inside, I know the person. I know they didn't mean to perform that way, that it was just something that changed chaotically. And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're working so hard to change in the dental industry. Well, Kim, can you tell us, maybe, do you want to say anything else to our audience? Because we are at the end of the episode. It has gone so fast. I can't believe this has been so much fun. Anything else you want to share?
No, just that, like I said, it's too bad eAssist wasn't around before. And I know a lot of the girls say that because, they went through the same things that I did. And again, the most important thing is the patient and the way they feel about the office and the way they feel about themselves. And, and the trust that they have with the office and the trust they have with the doctor is so important. And when eAssist takes that burden off of them, they have that time to spend with those patients and make those pleasurable times.
So just remember, when you feel like the money the patients owe is skyrocketing, and when there's not enough time in the day to do it all, you've got eAssist there for you. Kim, can you just let people know how to contact eAssist one more time? Phone number, maybe?
Yes, the toll-free number is 844-eAssist or 844-327-7478. Kim,
I want to thank you so much for coming on the air and your time and expertise. I really appreciate it. This was a very fun interview, and I just want to wish everybody out there listening a great week. And I want to wish you a great trip, and I will see you in August.
Yes, that'll be nice.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.